allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. Booker.
Here.
Mr. Fierstead.
Here.
Mr. Penrod.
Here.
Mr. Brubaker.
Here.
Mr. Raymer.
Here.
Mr. Espacek. Here. And I'm here, Randy. All aboard. Any additions, deletions tonight?
None.
Hearing of patrons. No hearing of patrons this evening. Presentations and recognition. Jody Sarber and the state cross-country qualifiers.
So yes, my name is Jody Sarber, and I'm the cross-country coach, but this isn't about me. In fact, my name shouldn't even be up there. What we're recognizing is what these three individuals have done, so I want to stress that first. But I shared a little bit of this last year as the two ladies to my right qualified for the state meet then as well. But Indiana is the only state out of the 50 in the country that has a single class for cross-country. So qualifying for the state meet means something. I mean, you're not just among the best in the small schools, you're just among the best. And so it was an honor to head to Terre Haute with these three. But as I also shared at our awards program, it didn't come without some work. I've done a little bit of math, which I can occasionally do, and these three have logged over 16,000 miles since they started running cross country in 6th grade. So kudos to those three, and I know they're all proud of those accomplishments, and they should be. So no pressure to say anything, but mic is open if you want to. So Ayla Cash Dollar was one of our state qualifiers, Cadence Fox, and then Kyler Dale. Congratulations.
Yep.
Now, if you would mind standing, and the board, if you would join.
Curious on future plans. You guys running? No, they don't want to talk about.
Nice try. Nice try. Maybe it rained enough, but that's the
We'll have the three people in front, and everybody else can kind of gather around behind. And while we're doing that, you can think about what you want to say.
You need Jody in there. You need Jody.
Just try not to get quiet. Try not to mess it up too bad.
All right. If you can't see me, I can't see you. 1, 2, 3. Do it again. 1, 2, 3. Okay. What do you guys run?
5 days. Oh, wait, time-wise? No.
You gotta excuse him. What goes on in your mind right at the end of when you're trying to make it to the finish line? How do you get there?
Finish. I'm dying.
How quickly can you end the misery?
There you go.
Just gotta find the motivation.
Would it be bad if I quit now?
They didn't quit, or they wouldn't be there.
That's right.
That's right.
Truth
Hey,
of his value. So, thank you very much.
Congratulations
to all three of you.
Wabash County Football Awards, Coach of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, and Special Teams Player of the Year.
Well, these guys, I can't, with the team, like Coach Sarber said, it was because of these guys how I got Coach of the Year. They bought into what we're trying to do with our football program, and from day one, these guys were probably wondering what the heck we're doing, because we literally changed everything of what we're doing with the football program, how they walk to the field, how they talk, everything. And we had a pretty successful year. These two were a very big part of it. Reese was Wabash County Offensive Player of the Year and first team TRC DB, defensive back for the people who don't understand that. And Mason was Special Teams Player of the Year, for Wabash County, but first team TRC linebacker. He had 107 tackles was for the team. Obviously led every aspect on defense. We put him up for small school linebacker player of the year and kind of missed out on some guys that are up for Mr. Football of Indiana, but Mason, can't say enough about his leadership and how he is, his character, and what he means to the team. We're going to miss that since he's a senior. Luckily, we get Reese back next year, so he's got some shoes to fill with Mason leaving. And on a side note, Mason just graduated last week, so he's getting to join the workforce. So, but yeah, I just want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to coach these young men, and hopefully we'll set an example and set the standard for what Manchester football should be.
More pictures.
Gentlemen, if you would join us.
I would have a talk, but they won't talk during practice.
We won't do it.
I know.
All right, same thing. If you cannot see me, I cannot see you. 1, 2, 3, and one more. All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys. See you guys. Have a good evening.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Look, now you're gonna do your big piece in front of the little crowd. Yep, financial report.
All right, Randy, let's start with operations. Okay, correct numbers this time. Again, just a reminder, when we put this stuff together, it was basically 18 months ago when we started cash flowing all this. So as you can see, total revenue, and again, we will be getting our cash draw from the county any day now, which will make the negatives go positive. So coming across, if you look at our total revenue, we're anticipating 95,000. Our actual was 111, so variance is plus 15. Total expenses ate into that. So get all said and done, we're off $49.63. So we'll try to do better next year. But so again, we expect our cash draw to come in. If we are close to what we project, we should end the year positive 25,000-30,000 in operations, which is a whole lot better than what I had originally projected 18 months ago. So. All right, in education, same numbers. If you look across and look at our total revenue projection, we were projecting 906, actual is 883. I want to talk a little bit about that. So as you recall, in October, we had our student count number, and we were down 39 kids. 39? 38, I think. Anyway, so what happens is we have a count in February, and then we give the state an anticipated count for the summer, and that's what they start our school year cash flow in. So we're anticipating down 23, so we're down 38. So now what happens is the state adjusts in November and December. So this reflects the adjustment. The adjustment was down 60,000 for each of those 2 months. So even though our cash was down 60,000, as you can see, we're up 61,000 in total revenue year or month end. So, you know, basically about $120,000 switch in all this. So again, our December draw will be down 60,000, and then when we get to January, in October, our draw is 908,000. Our standard draw after the correction will be 886,000. So we'll be down about 20,000 a month going forward. That's already built into our cash flow for 26. Where you start showing a decrease in ADM in both February and again in the fall. We're showing about down, I think, about 15. So we're hoping that number stabilizes, but we're still showing a decrease. And all this is baked into our projections for 25, 26, and 27. So overall, again, from my original cash projections, 16, 18 months ago, we were in a much better position than what I was anticipating year-end to be this year. And we only hope to get stronger as time goes on. So, any questions on?
Motion to accept the financial report.
Oh, so moved.
Second, Mr. Penrod. Discussion.
Quick question. So is that transferred operations, is that 63,000? Is that what that is? 64? What is that? Transferred operation.
62.5
Has that been consistent every single month?
every month.
Okay.
Yep. Now, I will tell you, I had a kicker year-end of transferring about $250,000 from education to op. I don't think we're going to have to do it.
Okay.
At least right now, if our cash draw is what we anticipate it to be, we will not have to make a transfer. If we do, it's going to be in the tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands.
So January of last year, it was also 60,
Oh, yeah.
60
Yeah.
some thousand.
Yeah, we transfer
Okay.
$750,000 a year from
Okay.
ed to op.
Okay.
And last year, we transferred a little over $1 million because op was so low.
Yeah.
But we think with the operation fund borrowing that we did, that you approved last month and signed off on last month, and then the the first mortgage money, $3 million, will help offset some of the costs that we see in operations. That's the goal for 26 or 25.
I know this is kind of off this line, but the state reimburses some textbook. I mean, it's not up to what it covers everything, but how is that paid out? Is it built into the monthly draws? Like when they get, how is that built
No,
in?
we will get a draw this
Reimbursement.
month for textbooks.
Okay.
And we don't know what that draw is. We tell them how much we spend, but there's an allocation to the state that says this is how much we're going to put in. And then after all the districts put in what they spent, then the state allocates how much they have available. So that number, I think we put in about $350 per student. Our reimbursement is going to be probably in a range of $200, maybe a little less than that. But there's some districts that will put in $100.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on how they run their calculations.
Where will that money flow into as far
Goes
as
into
some,
the education fund.
just
Yeah.
education?
And then the caveat from the state is it has to, whatever you put into the education fund for textbooks, it has to be spent for textbooks or for operations of software, whatever those add-ins are that you have to fund. So it can't be used for salaries, can't be used for anything other than curriculum materials.
Okay.
What about income tax distribution?
That comes.
Monthly?
No, that comes in half a year. So after your tax payments are made in May, we get a draw in June. After you make your December payment, and we get a draw in or November payment, we get a draw in December. So it only comes in twice a year. That's why all these numbers are negative, except for in operations, except for June and sometimes July. And then December is really the only other month out of the year that you're positive, because it's the only time you actually have cash.
You're talking about income tax or property tax, Mike?
Property tax, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that was
not property
tax.
income. Do we get an
Income we don't see as far
Okay.
as quote income. All that goes to state and they distribute, that's your monthly draw on your DP 54, which is that number I gave you a couple minutes ago, which is, we were getting 908 and we will end up getting 886,000 per month. Now, there's a couple other draws that come in, and they come in half year, quarterly, whatever. So you have local option income tax, you have excise tax, you have federal FIT tax, which is federal depositor tax, financial institution tax, FIT. So those are really the three drivers. Excise is the highest one that comes in. Obviously, that's vehicles. FIT is very, very small for us because it's based on number of financial institutions you have in your district. below it is local income tax, and it's like 1/4%, so it doesn't generate much. But again, that's the local revenue comes into the county and then gets dispersed.
But accumulated six-month distributions
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, we
Somebody good
calculate
interest.
all those three on a monthly basis as far as revenue, but it only hits twice a year or quarterly, depending on the distribution.
So doing a yearly assessment, 2024, we've been up and down, but what do you, like the e-bait conversation, what do we have to worry about out here? I mean,
Long session. Quite
yeah,
frankly,
but
the long session is what is going to be the make or break for public education when it comes to finances this year. There's some talk that the governor is looking towards a lot of things, but one of them is looking at safety, security, which will help, because if that doesn't come off of the education fund.
Yep.
But a lot of times what happens is they'll say, okay, we're going to start this new program, and by the way, we're going to reduce your state support in order to pay for that program. Or we'll pay for it the first year, first 2 years, but after that, it's going to come out of your state support. So that, right now, long session is the thing to watch. There's a lot of bills that are going to be in the hopper. There's a lot of discussion about private schools, charter schools, state income tax, state property tax being distributed to those units in a different fashion than they are today.
I'm kind of on the macro environment, but looking at MCS, micro, no challenges you can think of?
No, I mean, I'll say housing is a challenge. If we get housing, we get more kids. If we get more kids, we get more revenue coming in.
Adam's working on that.
Yeah. But, we don't see any big employers making moves in or out. I just don't see there's going to be much change as far as our local assessments are concerned. If you know something that I don't. But I'll tell you, we had one company, a very small company, that made an announcement, and when we submitted our stuff to DUAB, we got a call saying, what impact will it have? Like, within minutes. So they're still watching.
All right.
So,
Okay.
anything else? All right, thank you.
Thanks.
All in favor?
Aye.
7-0, Randy. Okay, consent items, claims, minutes, resignations. Somebody got their computer up. It's all right. Who are we losing? I just want to say thank you.
We have Stephanie Pinkerton, senior high, she's a junior high tennis coach, excuse me. And Madison Poe is a sped paraprofessional at the senior high, both resigning.
Thank you for your service. Any grants?
No grants.
No grants. Donations. Would somebody like to read the donations?
I can, I guess.
Thank
You want me
you.
to? Donations, $300 to MCS Health and Wellness Fund from an anonymous donor. $100 to junior senior high school FFA program from Keystone Cooperative and Katie Mize. $250 to junior senior high school cheerleading program from the Nightmare Factory, LLC. $75 to the junior senior high school for the FFA program from an anonymous donor. $150 to the junior senior high school from the FFA program from an anonymous donor. $1,000 to the junior senior high school APES Physics Trip West from an anonymous donor. $1,000 to junior senior high school band program from an anonymous donor. $2,000 from junior senior high school drama department from an anonymous donor. $1,015 to the junior senior high school APS Physics Trip West from various donors. And $1,125 to junior senior high school girls basketball program.
Recommendation for approval employment. Employment.
Dana Hoffman, high school part-time cook. Isabel Hughes, junior high choreographical director. Stephanie Tefflinger, girls intramural. Jen Birch, girls intramural basketball, both the basketball, and Christina Fields, softball assistant coach.
Okay. Motion to approve employment. Mr. Estes. Second, Mr. Hamer. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
7-0, Randy. 2025-26 school calendar approval.
All right, so,
Is there anything with that, John?
no, that's coming up.
6-4.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
That's all right.
Calendar is a little different. It's a week later starting date. And then we we finish the Thursday after Memorial Day is what's recommended for the 25-26 calendar. Everything else is pretty much the same. A week and a day for October for fall break, 3 days for Thanksgiving, 2 weeks of December for Christmas and January, and then Good Friday and the following week for spring break. So teachers have been involved in all this, and they have, I'm not sure voted on it, but have reached consensus. How's that?
Have we facilitated Heartland this year as well, I think,
It-
with the
it-
county?
It's better, but it's not good, no.
Okay.
So I think there's more districts on this schedule than there are not, but I think there's another 2 that are still on the starting a week early.
They'll be very appreciative to know this ahead of time, unlike last year, it was late.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, motion to approve the 25-26 calendar. Mr. Penrod, second, Mr. Brubaker. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
7-0. Okay, 2025 Manchester Squire Fundamental Basketball League, pre-K to second grade, facility approval.
Yeah, facility approval, they have the waiver that they have everybody sign. Obviously, it's our kids doing basketball and hopefully to enhance our program down the road. So really nothing new or different with this request.
Okay, motion to approve. Mr. Raymer, second. Mr. Fierstos, discussion? Thank you, Coach, for working with the youth. All in favor?
Aye.
7-0, Randy. Verification of employment.
Okay, this is, you've not done this before. This is, I guess, probably a 25-year Jeff Stevens approach to life, so you just have to get through with this with me. When contracts are printed with our software, so every teacher has a certified contract, it pre-slugs board members' names on that contract. So you approved the contract ratification last month, so that goes in as contract salaries and everything else. What this does is simply says, yes, we approved the contract for that person who already has their contract, has already signed their contract, and your names have already been pre-slugged on that contract. So it's just verification that, yes, you gave us permission to sign the contract, and then affix your name. So that's the first part. So it gives employee name, teacher name, years of service, and their 24-25 contract salary. So that's what this is. The second part of this at the bottom is the administrative contracts. Again, those contracts were approved last month. So this is for their new contract, and it rolls their existing contract to another year. So as an example, Tommy is in year 2 of 2 of his contract. This would roll his contract back to year 1 of 2. Now, that's a little odd because those contracts went into effect July 1st of 24. So he's halfway through his first year already. And again, that's because this district approves administrative contracts and non-certified after negotiations with teachers are completed. So he's halfway through the contract, but all the contracts roll to original term. So on this sheet is simply saying that you confirm as of this date that the information approved at the November meeting has been applied to their contracts. That's basically what you're saying. So on administrative contracts, that is Tommy going to 2, Tony Castle going to 3, Sue Nagley going to 2.
To what?
1 or 2 years. Now, her contract dropped in days, so she went from 200 to 183.
No, I've looked at it.
Becky Landis, 1 of 1. Shelley would go back to, she's year 2 of 2, so she'd go back to 1 of 2. Brady McClure, who just joined us, is staying at 2.5 because his contract just went into effect. Tony Miller will be 1 of 1, so again, his contract is halfway through. Cindy Mize, 1 of 1. Dory, 1 of 2. Again, she's halfway through. Beth Rosen's 1 of 1. Eric Sanson, 1 of 1. Randy Self, 1 of 2. So again, he goes back to original term of 2 years. Tyson is 1 of 2. He's on 2 of 2 right now, so he goes back to original term. Jeff Stevens, 1 of 1, and Linda Watkins, 1 of 2. So again, she's on the second year of a 2-year. Now, the only other change I will point out is we're recommending that Tommy and Linda have 10 days added to their contracts. In the past, they have gotten a summer contract. This is in lieu of that. So they will no longer get a summer contract. It is simply extending their existing contract by extra 10 days. That gives them coverage for summer school. They don't have to both be in the same building at the same time. So if they want to work 1 week, they'll get their time in. If they want to do 2 days this week and 3 days next week, however they decide, but it gives them the extra 10 days to cover all of our summer school needs.
Makes sense.
So, any questions? A lot of information really quick.
Motion to approve verification of employment. Mr. Raymer, Mr. Brubaker, discussion?
Is that years of service just in this district, not as an educator as a whole, correct?
Yeah.
Because I think there's some that come there, I'm pretty sure they've taught longer than that. but-
Yeah. I think this is in Manchester.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got, there's 30-year, we got some tenured employees, so.
Yeah.
All in
Okay.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. 7-0, right?
I will pass this round. If you would sign on the left-hand side, and then Mr. Raymer, I'll need you to sign twice.
Yeah, good, here. Okay. Discussion, Heartland update.
Just a couple of things. The roof payment has been posted and shared with the superintendents, and I believe Mr. Stevens knows about this as well, Dr. Stevens. But our 2 payments are both going to be $117,505, one in March and one in May. So, yeah, that's how that's going to work.
And I interrupt for a second. That will be coming out of the $3 million first mortgage bond that we just took. I was hoping not to attack that until summer, but obviously we'll have to dig into that earlier.
They were able to sign a PO, or they're getting ready to sign a PO before the end of the year so they can secure the 24 pricing, or if anything ever goes up. But part of it's a, sales tactic.
And
But
what it end up being then? What'd the vote come out? Numbering 2?
oh, yeah. That's actually what I was going to say first. The 2-ply was voted for Manchester, North Miami, Peru, and Wabash. MSD voted metal. So 4-1. And all 5 schools voted to use the roof fund for the project. And let's see, money to scholarships were 4 schools said scholarships, 1 said roof project from the NIPSCO funds that we were talking about. And that's about it. So I have my last meeting with them on next Wednesday, and I'll share anything that needs to be pertinent to with Mr. Castle or you guys if it needs to be. So,
Awesome.
okay.
Thank you, Robert. Legislative update?
Just want to point out, as far as education, incoming Governor Braun has picked Secretary of State Katie Jenner to remain as Secretary of Education, so that change of leadership won't happen. He did highlight in kind of his transition plan, general terms, but the details are to come, but he wants to guarantee universal school choice for every Hoosier family, so for public schools, you don't know what that funding will be. Boost teacher pay and improve benefits, which I think that's been kind of Holcomb's push, but what his what he's able to do will be seen. Build a strong teacher pipeline, so that way we continually have good educators and I think retaining them as well. Prioritize school safety, so I think there may be a new created department of like public safety or something I had read, and so they're trying to push more funding to that. I don't know if that'll allow for more grants for schools. We'll wait and see, but it's a good, I think that's something this board has talked about is safety in schools, so that's a good sign. Improve quality and raise academic standards. I think that's kind of standard. You always want to kind of keep making it better,
main
improve.
job.
And then the last one, he put kids first by protecting parental rights. So details to come on that, but that's kind of what I got as far as what he's looking for education.
Awesome. Thank you, Al. Superintendent comments?
All right, first thing, I'm going to send this around. As you recall, we asked each of you, or told each of you, conflict of interest form. So we have that compiled now. So this is everybody who has anybody who works in the district listed. So if you have a person who is working here, this does not preclude you from taking any action on their behalf. It is simply a piece of paper that says this is a known conflict. If you feel conflicted and you want to abstain from something, that's entirely up to you.
I feel conflicted.
This goes back to a former, who has passed, attorney, that when this first hit, again, this goes back to 25 years of doing this stuff, originally it was if you have a fiduciary interest. So if I'm a superintendent, my wife worked, and she did, as a teacher, we would both have a conflict of interest because I had a fiduciary responsibility. His view of the world was you list anybody who has any relationship at all, just as belts and suspenders. So we've used that approach. The first time it's been done here, but as you go through, you'll see who the employee is. You know, some of them are obviously duplicated. Who the relatives are, and it's kind of interesting just to peruse, if nothing else, because there's a lot of people that are related to people who work here. So there's no action taken. This is simply a cover sheet that says you have confirmed and looked at the list. That's all it does. We file this, and then if there's ever any action on the board, again, it's entirely up to you if you make vote, abstain, or whatever you want to do, but this is for everybody else. So if there's ever a question, we have that on file.
It's about transparency and the battle against nepotism, basically,
Yep.
is the way I look at it. And this does not substitute our hiring policy.
Oh,
I
no.
just kind
No,
of
this
want to
is
make
just-
that clear. So.
Yeah, this is just who we have that, and also if they have a financial institution, if I'm a vendor, if I have a product that the school buys, let's say I wrote a piece of curriculum and the school buys it, that has to be listed as well. So if I'm a vendor to the district and I work in the district, so, or if I had a fiduciary interest in a company that works for the district, I have to disclose that as well. So. All right, while that's going around, one of the things that we're going to be doing over the break is updating 6 gang restrooms. 2 of those are in the high school, which are outside of the theater and the varsity gym, so boys and girls. That will include taking and replacing ceiling grid, repainting it, repainting the walls, cleaning off all the faucets and everything else, replacing the counters. If you've been in those rooms, those counters are in dire need of attention. They're Formica that have been broken and needs repaired. 2 restrooms at MES and 2 restrooms at MIS, and then a bathroom at the high school science department, which is just a small bathroom. So the MES and MIS will get new stalls. So that's included in all this. The neat thing is, and Randy's coordinating this for us, we have a gentleman who has worked for the district in the past. He's, I would say, semi-retired. He likes certain clients. He wore one. So he is going to act as foreman, and 3 of our summer help kids are going to act as the workers, and he's going to train them and work with them on how to do this work. That means that in the future, coming back, they will become our foreman for the summer work crews. So we see this as a real win.
Yeah, that's awesome.
In the bathrooms, we're going to replace the ceiling tile. trying to make those look pristine because they are one of the areas that obviously our community sees all the time. So, Randy, anything I missed on that?
Don't think so. The commons restrooms just they needed an update. The fixtures and everything are fine.
Yep.
The walls, we aren't painting those. Those are the ceramic tile. But the ceilings, you know, they're 20, 28 years old, and it's just time. And like you said, the sinks and fixtures, that will probably not be done over break. That's gonna take a little bit of time, probably later in January until that gets, that'll be solid surface countertop, so.
New lights, so we're putting
And
drop-in
you're supposed to go
tiles.
up there and talk on it, so anyway. And you guys make it
Are
hard.
the elementary bathrooms and the MIS, are they kid, like bathrooms that
The
students
faucet
use?
in the boys' restroom gonna get fixed? Tell me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are those the student bathrooms? Is that,
The student bathrooms are gonna be one set at MIS, one set at MES now, and then we've got another set that we'll do hopefully over the summer.
okay,
Redoing the stalls, and then we're working on the sinks. That's gonna be done over the summer.
No.
okay,
Those are gonna need to be redone. But
Thank you.
That's a whole different design problem.
Okay.
thank you.
Anything else, Dr. Steve?
I don't think so. I think I'm done.
Yeah, okay. We did conflict of interest.
Yep.
Recognition of outgoing board members. We would like to recognize. You guys didn't come out front. Are you guys gonna come out here with me?
We're not outgoing yet.
Don't you want to give him the stage first and let him talk?
Yeah. Mr. Brubaker. Thank you, sir, for your.
Indulge me for a couple of minutes. I have two? Okay. All right. So you talked about a heck of a ride. So over the last 4 years, this board has been through many heartaches and challenges, as well as many reasons to celebrate. A few examples are financial hardships, FFA school records and competition being broken and then broken again, a superintendent that came between the teachers and the board during a building design, a healing meeting where we realized what had happened and all moved forward together, 3 business managers, a current assistant superintendent / business manager that is guiding our corporation out of financial hardship, the pandemic, offering free breakfast to all students, new legal representation, the loss of $1.2 million, budget cuts and staff cuts, 2 different superintendent searches, a current experienced and passionate superintendent that will lead Manchester forward, dual language immersion creation and expansion, bringing new students to MCS, many valedictorians, our high school graduation rates, new elementary school principal who's leading MES with compassion and professionalism, a new high school principal who is starting soon, receiving ESSER 1, 2, and 3 funds, massive building project, passing several bonds, staff raises, track, cross-country, and wrestling state-bound students, Lilly Scholarship recipients, funerals, phone calls, executive sessions, and many extra meetings, graduations, school threats and scares, lots of plays and musicals that were enjoyed by all, band growing and making regionals, choir growing and breaking school records, balloon launches into space, art projects winning awards, STEM certified school, passing many policies, watching our kids grow thanks to our teachers, paraprofessional aides, kitchen staff, volunteers, student teachers, custodians, counselors, office staff, bus drivers, principals, central office staff, and our board members, and anyone else I might have forgotten. These are just a few things that this board has witnessed or has experienced in the 4 years. It has been a privilege to serve on this school corporation and this community. To those who have spoken ill of me over the past year without knowing what truly happened, I want you to know that I forgive you. Life can be complicated, and sometimes misunderstandings happen. I've learned a lot through these experiences, and I choose peace and growth over holding any negativity. I hope you find happiness and understanding in your own journey, just as I strive to do in mine. Thank you for the opportunity for being part of this board. I thank the board members, some of which I've got to know well over the years. I wish nothing but the best for this board and school district during the years ahead, as public school across Indiana will be pointlessly and intentionally attacked by our state government. May you never lose sight of the reason we are here, to positively affect our students' outcome and future. Thank you for the opportunity to serve our students with you.
Thank you, Mr. Bucher. Any other comments?
I don't have much to say. Thank you, Robbie. That was a very well put together piece. You covered a lot of ground that I had forgotten about. Thank you to all the present board members and past board members for the opportunity. It has definitely been an interesting ride. Some uphill and some down. That being said, I wish nothing but the best for the community school system in the future, and thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. I'd just like to say this, hey, we've got holidays coming, the school, you're looking good, right? There's a lot of positive going on. I think Rick mentioned that last meeting. You know, I just say enjoy the holidays. Let's do good decision-making, and everybody stay safe, especially the kids. You know, when we get into little weather, remember those roads are slick, right? It takes a second, so, all right. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Mr. Raymer, Mr. Bucher, all in favor?
Aye.
7-0.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Get that last